Why do we protect our banks, our airports, and our sports stadiums with people with guns, but not our schools?
I think that that's a fair point, and that
And I'm not discounting, the background check thing, but it's incredible moral perversion. You can't get in a Dodger Stadium without seeing 50 cop cars and people with guns everywhere. You can't go to LAX without going through basically a demilitarized zone. But you could go into a local Long Beach elementary school, and we decide to not protect our kids. So we protect our airplanes and our sports teams, but we don't protect our own children. And so you care about protecting children. I think that we should basically lock down these schools. People say, oh, I don't want our schools to be militarized. Well, then you don't want to protect our kids? You don't think you want your money to be protected at your bank? You want the payday lender to be protected, but you don't want your own children to be protected.
What's up YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today guys, we're back here into a new video. Today we're going to be checking out Taking Guns Away Won't Stop Violence. This is by Kirk. I call him Charlie Kick because he loves kicking us. This is going to be amazing to watch. Let's check this video out together, guys.
Can you hear me? Oh. Hi, Mr. Kirk. I'm a student here, and I really appreciate you being here today to speak with us. I care a lot about protecting children and know that you value life as well. I understand that mental health and drug issues are a big part of the violence that we see every day in America, and I know that there's no black and white solution, but wouldn't implementing stronger background checks, especially for high-powered weapons like AK-47s, be a more reasonable and effective step to prevent school shootings and protect the children?
Sure, fine. So first of all, it is very difficult to purchase an AK-47. You're probably talking about an AR-15. That's probably what you're talking about, which is not an AK-47. We do have those background checks in a lot of states. I do have to ask, do you feel safe in California walking the streets at night in Los Angeles as a woman?
It depends which area.
How about right near the downtown convention center?
Not necessarily, no.
So remember, our goal is a safe society. So just stricter gun laws does not always equal a safer society. That's just number one.
Yeah,
And
that's what I said. That's why I said that. I know that mental health is a big issue.
Huge.
But for instance, I have a 10-year-old little sister, and every day my parents stress about sending her to school for what could happen to her. So
it's a real question. Let me ask you, does that school have an armed guard?
I'm not entirely
That's
sure.
why you're stressing.
Sure.
That's a fair point.
Why do we protect our banks, our airports, and our sports stadiums with people with guns, but not our schools?
I think that that's a fair point, and that
And I'm not discounting, the background check thing, but it's incredible moral perversion. You can't get in a Dodger Stadium without seeing 50 cop cars and people with guns everywhere. You can't go to LAX without going through basically a demilitarized zone. But you could go into a local Long Beach elementary school, and we decide to not protect our kids. So we protect our airplanes and our sports teams, but we don't protect our own children. And so you care about protecting children. I think that we should basically lock down these schools. People say, oh, I don't want our schools to be militarized. Well, then you don't want to protect our kids? You don't think you want your money to be protected at your bank? You want the payday lender to be protected, but you don't want your own children to be protected. So that's my number one solution, all that. And then I would end on to it. Listen, a lot of mental health problems. I have a different view. I think gun ownership is a right, not a privilege. And I don't think the government should get in the way of our right to be able to own firearms.
Yeah.
So what do you think that do you think that the government should get involved in adding armed guards to schools, or why
Yes.
isn't this more talked about? Because
Oh,
I feel like
in other states it is. Gavin Newsom would refuse to do this, of course. But in other states, after big school shootings, they have police officers parked outside. And in fact, school resource officers with guns have shown to prevent school shootings, limit school shootings, or even intervene before the school shooting happens. And it's going to show that these awful tragedies go from maybe 1 or 2 students dying, which is horrific, which it could have been 30 or 40 students dying, right? And so, again, at the fundamental core of it, which is your astute observation, almost every single case of these school shootings, there are some exceptions, they get the guns from their parents. It's also these kids that are in a very, very dark and troubled place. And almost always, there's warning, there's troubling signs, there are issues ahead of time that are ignored.
okay.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, this was actually interesting to watch. I love Charlie's feedback on it. People feel like they should take away guns from people, everyone. They should take away guns from everyone because by doing that, those school shootings will be limited and it won't even happen again. But whereas that is not true. That is not what is going to stop it. I feel like the best way to stop it is, according to what Charlie said, is about bringing military officers into the school. You understand? They have to guard the children, because why then search them before they enter into the school premises? Search anyone who enters the school premises. It's not like a forced thing, but in a very aspect of love. You understand? They have to guard the school very, very well. This is something we should be talking about, because while we bank sports events, even celebrities too are also guarded, then our kids will leave them just like that open. Do you understand? And in America, people are passing through a lot of things. Mental issues. Some kids that create such havoc, they get the guns mostly from their parents. You understand? Those firearms, they go from the parents. So the best way to solve this is just get officials, military officials or normal cops that was going to be like safeguarding the school. Most of these military officials, like, we should safeguard literally all the entire school. Because right now, what is happening in America, like, if you open the news right now, you see this school shooting happened, that school shooting happened. Me, I'll be very terrified to get my kids in the school. I'll be scared because someone can just come to school and they carry guns and start killing all the students. We've seen that happen before, which is a very, very terrifying thing. Parents losing their kids any parent who lose their kid while they're training the child up at any age, it is very horrifying, frankly speaking, because parents are not the ones that ought to bury their children. That is supposed to be the other way around. The children ought to bury their parents. Do you understand? Children give parents joy. Do you understand? So it is very terrible to see that schools, such incidents are happening. We are not trying doing literally anything to safeguard our school. Unless the incidents have already happened, then you start seeing some investigations, whereas we are still not putting measures in order to safeguard our school, which is terrible. So I feel like what Charlie said is the best answer to her question. It's not just about banning guns everywhere that will solve that issue. The best thing for us to do is to make sure we protect our school with everything possible. And a lot of people are against that, against having military and also cops officials to be in schools to safeguard the school. A lot of people are against that. But it's best to do that because it will help us at the longer run. So comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video to as many as you can. Subscribe to our channel, guys. I will see you guys on the next video. Make sure you stay safe.